Hello and welcome to Post to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. Why the heck are we making this video? I mean, seriously. We're going to come back to this video in like 3 years and think, oh, right. We made this video on an incident where someone in the NHL licked someone else.
Again.
Within 2 weeks of the first lick. So this is his second licking offense. When we did the preview for this series, you very jokingly
wondered who he would lick this time.
Yeah, you said it would be a young European boy, like Sergachev or someone like that.
Some rookie from Europe who might be intimidated by that.
You said that.
I was thinking maybe Sergachev.
You said that knowing that it wouldn't happen because
who
would lick someone again like that?
It would never happen
again. What kind of idiot would do that? I don't want to use that word, but anybody who licks someone's face in a professional sports league, in my opinion, is an idiot. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. So we're going to discuss it. I assume you don't agree with it?
Or definitely not. We haven't talked about it ahead of time.
We have not talked about it.
Because we knew we were going to be talking here. We want our reactions to be spontaneous.
And genuine, yes. So I'm going to bring up one thing. It's a couple things, actually. Last year, I think it was either last year or the year before, Andrew Shaw got suspended one game for calling a referee the F word. And I'm not talking about the four-letter F word. I'm talking about the homosexual version of the F word that means cigarette in England or whatever. He got suspended for that. So calling someone a homophobic thing is suspension worthy, but doing a homosexual act on ice is nothing, apparently. So it's okay to do it, but it's not okay to, you know what I mean? Like, I know they're not related. Like, I know they're not the same thing, but they're related.
Andrew Shaw should have been suspended and was suspended.
Yes.
Therefore, ergo,
yeah.
This should have been suspension.
I don't understand.
I don't know if it has anything to do with... Ron McLean last night in the game talked about the potential sexual harassment aspect of this. I don't see that part of it. I don't see that as a...
I don't see it being sexual harassment either.
No. I don't even see it being as a sexual act of any kind, frankly.
He's just doing it as a joke. He's just like he's...
Yeah.
But just picture this. If this happened in I'm trying to think of sports that involve males and females. Like, is there a bobsledding that have male-female teams or something like that?
No, there'd be mixed doubles tennis would be one of the few things I could think of. There's a mixed doubles curling.
Can you imagine a man going up to a woman on the opposing team and licking her face? And it being okay in that sport?
No, there's no place ever that would ever be okay.
So why is that okay in this sport?
Exactly.
Like, it shouldn't matter what gender the person is. You can't do that.
It's wrong. And it's all about the transmission of disease and things like that. In your mouth is your stuff. And when you lick something or somebody, you're transmitting your stuff. It may be bad stuff, depending. I don't know where Brad Marchand's been lately. And hopefully it doesn't result in any health problems, but you never know. In Canada, I don't know about the U.S., but in Canada, if you're in the process of being arrested or detained and you spit on a police officer, you're charged with assault of that officer, and possibly you've endangered their lives if you're carrying a bloodborne disease.
That's why they carry these spit masks and have them in jails and in prisons and stuff. They put this spit mask over you so you can't do it.
And they asked Callahan after the game what he thought of the thing. And he said, actually, at the time, I was more upset about being low-bridged. Because that was another thing that Marchand did in that game.
Which he's been suspended for
in the past.
Previously.
Yeah. And so that happened as well. And that was what Callahan was most worried about at the time. But they asked him about the tongue incident, and he said, well, there is a penalty for spitting. It's a misconduct. And why is the licking not as bad as or any different from the spitting.
I think it's worse.
I think he makes a great point. I think it is worse because you're delivering the material directly
and it's not
rather than flying it.
Yeah, it's
and the whole idea of it's
I
just
just don't
disgusting.
understand it. Why is like the NHL said that they're going to talk to Brad Marchand? No. You should have talked to him the first time, which you said you did, but then you didn't, so he didn't get talked to. Why was this not addressed the first time he looked at someone? Because Komarov's at home now, super jealous, because he's not the last person to be licked. Brad Marchand cheated on Komarov.
Well, he likes to play the field.
Now he's on a date with Callahan.
Well,
Didn't even take him to dinner first.
according to Elliot Friedman on the TV coverage last night, Elliot said he had first heard word that the NHL had spoken to the team, the Bruins organization, and asked them to handle it. But then later on, the NHL had, after having confirmed that they did have that conversation, later denied that they had that conversation. That was the first time. That was the Komarov incident. This time here, I don't know what happens next. I'm surprised that I haven't read. It's now mid-afternoon on the Saturday, the day after the game. I'm surprised I haven't read yet news that he's been suspended.
No one in the league has been suspended more than Brad Marchand since 2010. That is a fact. The fact that he's been suspended that many times, I believe 7, and he's missed over like 21 games or something like that. I did a video on it a while ago. Mm-hmm. That he's still doing this, still doing crap like this with the low bridge on Callahan and then licking people. Why are you not suspending him again?
Exactly.
I don't understand. This has no place in this sport. I understand it was a joke. I get it. It's funny. It was funny the first time a little bit. Still no need of it. Now it's beyond. Like, I understand joke first time. This time, it's shut it down, NHL. Please suspend this guy. And the most frustrating part about this, he's one of the best players in the NHL.
Incredible talent. In last night's game, Boston scored 3 goals. Brad Marchand assisted on 2 of them, and he was on the ice for the third one. He's
an incredible player.
Unbelievable. And he was a very big factor in that last goal that
he's one of the best left wingers in the league alongside Ovechkin. He's an incredible player. He has no reason to do these nut shots like he did to Dotchin last year. No reason to do the low bridges on Salo like he did in the playoffs a couple years ago. And he did some low bridge on someone else. I can't remember who it was. The slew foots on Cronwall for Detroit. I can't remember what he did this year. He got suspended for. I don't remember what it was. Anyways. There's no reason he has to do this stuff.
That's the thing.
And that's what I don't get. There's a switch in his head that isn't switching like everyone else's switch. And clearly he's not getting the message.
And even when the message is delivered by his own teammates, after this happened, he's sitting on the bench. Bergeron's over there. Chara is over there, and he's got a history of losing his switch a few times, but he went over to Marchand, and they're talking. And Marchand's face through that whole thing, he's not nodding his head, yeah, I got it. He's not showing any kind of remorse. His face is just stone dead. And they showed another replay of him standing out on the ice, and both referees, we can't read their lips necessarily, but they're obviously having a very stern conversation with Brad Marchand, and it's like he's just standing there. Like he's not tuned in to what they're saying to him. Mm-hmm. There's something seriously wrong with that person. And there's something seriously wrong with an organization that would allow him to stay on the ice after that.
I agree with that, actually. If I was Boston, I would have benched him. It's embarrassing. It reminds me, remember when Sean Avery was torturing Brodeur and kind of doing this and getting in front of him stuff?
Yeah, even the stick blade in front of him,
And everyone thought that was like, there's no need of that in the NHL.
Yeah.
Like, that's here? Licking someone's face is up here.
Totally.
So I don't understand why this is even happening. I don't get it. I don't even understand. Why is he behaving like this? He's a good player. He's a really good player. And he's from Nova Scotia, a province that's right next to us. He's close to us. It's frustrating to say bad things about someone that is from the same part of the world that you're in, and from
that grew up
country.
Grew up in supposedly in the same hockey culture that you did when you were playing.
Exactly.
At around the same time in New Brunswick. The respect for the game is gone for him. My respect, I had none left anyway for him, but I have negative respect now, if you can have that. If I were the owner of Boston, I would. You're down 3-1 in the series. You need him more now than ever, and I would say he's going to be a scratch. Even if the league won't step in, we're going to step in. We're going to scratch him. And if we lose the game, it's on him.
And the thing is, it makes Boston look bad.
It makes,
and that's unfortunate.
If they don't do something, it does.
I'm a Canadiens fan. I don't necessarily like Boston, but it makes there's a lot of people who hate Boston. I don't hate Boston. I just don't like them. But it makes them look bad, and that's unfortunate because there's a lot of players on Boston who don't deserve that reputation.
Absolutely.
And there's players who used to be on Boston, like Lucic, who contributed to why people hate Boston, and Brad Marchand is still doing it. And I feel bad for my friends who are Boston Bruins fans who have to deal with this bad reputation of some of these actions that are happening, like the licking. So I feel bad for Bruins fans. I'm sure there's Bruins fans who think it's funny and don't care, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with your opinion. You're allowed to have your own opinion. But to me, it's an embarrassing act. And if it was my favorite team, I would be embarrassed.
Marchand said in his defense when they interviewed him, well, he had punched me 4 times. Now, if I was ever punched 4 times in any scenario I can think of by somebody, I think the last thing I would try to do is go and lick them.
Definitely. Licking is usually a sign of love. That's why dogs do it, and beyond.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
I don't get it.
It's gone beyond jokeable, really. It was almost funny with the Komarov thing because you couldn't believe your eyes. You just couldn't believe what you were seeing. And he's one of the few players. There's players on other teams that are rough and tumble players that I would be behind if they were playing for Montreal. I would support them. Mm-hmm. I could never support him being on my team, ever. I've said that before. If Montreal acquired Brad Marchand, I would retire from cheering for them. For
really?
As long as he was, I would. I hate him that bad that I would.
You'd wear this hat.
I probably would.
You'd wear any other NHL team.
I probably would in protest.
In protest, yeah.
Of Brad Marchand being on my team. And like you, I know a lot of people who are Boston fans and have grown up with the greatest Boston players, guys I hated but I respected, the Wayne Cashmans and the Cam Neelys and people like that. They were
Ray Bourque.
They would never, as rough as and edgy as some of these guys were, they would never do anything like that. And I wish they'd show the box with Cam Neely and the other 3 guys sitting up there just after the licking thing happened. I want to see what they are reacting like after that, because that's not their kind of hockey, I'm sure.
Would you like Boston more if he wasn't a part of their team?
Probably not. May as well be honest. But if Boston said, let me put it this way, though, to answer your question and maybe in a better way. If Boston came out and said tomorrow, look, at the end of this season, I don't know what his contract status is.
6.125 until 23-24, I think.
Man. If someone came out at the end of the season and said, we're going to move Brad Marchand if any team will take him. We will own part of his salary. We want him off our team. I would have mad respect for Boston for doing that. Mad respect.
Would you wear a Boston hat in one video as an appreciation thank you?
Only if it came with a 6-pack of Sam Adams that I could handle first, just so I could work up the courage to do it.
We should have gotten Jason's perspective on this.
Really? Yeah. Can he be edited in?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to him about this yet, so...
We could actually stop this rant right now and bring Jason in.
If he agrees. All right, well, Jason did not agree to film the video, or he was unable to film the video. I'm not sure yet. He hasn't responded to me, but we should end this here, I think. We've said our piece.
Several times.
Several times, we said our piece.
I think you have a pretty good gist of where we're at.
Yeah, and let us know down in the comments how you feel as well. I feel like most people will agree with us, because that's what the trend that I've seen online, but you never know. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next licking video. Hopefully not. Adios.